Hey, this is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing, and I had a question about publishing LinkedIn blogs. So what you want to do to start is if you go to your LinkedIn homepage, let me just show you this real quick. If you click on either the in symbol or the home symbol, at the top you'll see a box that says start a post. That's where you normally would post. Underneath it says photo, video, job, and then write article. You do have to do this within the desktop version of LinkedIn. All you do is simply click on write article, and you get started with your article here. And I actually had a few that I had saved in draft. So I went under my publishing menu and found my draft articles in there. And that's what I started working on today, 50 ways for sales leaders to improve your LinkedIn profile. So I have a draft of this that's just about ready to go. I want to show you the final steps I'm going to go through to complete this. The first is I want to make sure I have a very interesting, compelling cover image. I use canva.com. I found that the dimensions 600 by 322 still work out pretty well. I want to make sure I'm keeping my images and anything. If I do a GIF or an animation, it's in the middle portion of the graphic. And I tested out a couple different headlines using the co-schedule headline analyzer is what it's called. I'll put the link below. And this is what I've come up with for the graphic. It's slightly different than the title for the blog. Okay, so I created this in Canva, downloaded it and it's in my downloads folder. Now I'm going to click on this image right here, and I'm just going to grab that from my images, and it will upload it to LinkedIn. And what I like about using a GIF is you are able to include a couple elements of animation. It tends to draw your eye in a little bit better. Okay, and then just scrolling through, there's a few things you can do within LinkedIn. You know, if you want, you could bold certain text on there. You can add in hyperlinks in here. Now, I wanted to do a list of 50 items, and I notice if I try to like add in, sometimes I can add in additional links to videos and things like that. Other times I've noticed sometimes when you add in spaces in between, it will break the list and then you have to restart it over again. So let's just see this YouTube video as an example. I'm going to grab this link from here and I'm going to try to insert it in the middle, and that adds a little bit of, you know, some visual interest as people are scrolling through the article in here. Okay, so it looks like that's working out okay. And I want to make sure my numbered list is still working. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to scroll on through here. If there's any other video links I wanted to add back in, here's one right here. I'm going to add that one. Actually, I think I've got one at the bottom already, so I'm going to skip that one. And once I'm satisfied with this, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. And I always like to end my blogs, aka LinkedIn articles, with calls to action. So I have one at the bottom. My 50th tip is to book me to train your sales team. And then after that, I have just my standard follow me, follow my company, and I end with a visual here as well. So I like to start with a visual, end with a visual. And then if there's anything you wanted to do within the article here, there's some very light formatting things that you can do here. So, you know, maybe bolding some things that are important. You can do some underlining. You can't really do too much in terms of changing the font. You can't change the typeface. I can change the look of the font a little bit by bolding, but that's really it. So limited capabilities here in the blog, but it does sit on LinkedIn, and they are getting some reach from your profile. Created using canva.com. So I'm going to just tell people that's where I created that. Okay. All right. So I think once I'm happy with that, I'm simply going to click on publish. And at the time that you publish it, you can see it's putting this out as a share on LinkedIn. So what I want to do is just add a little bit of a setup text and explain to people what this blog is all about. And I might just say, are you using LinkedIn to reach sales prospects? I wrote this blog for awesome sales leaders. If you're awesome, read this and share with your sales team. If you're not awesome, keep on scrolling. And sometimes I like to add a little bit of humor in here because posts on LinkedIn can be so stiff sometimes, and sometimes when you just add a little bit of personality in here, I find it creates greater levels of engagement. So I'm just going to drop this in here real quick. Okay, and then LinkedIn is telling us to use between, once upon a time it was 3, and then they told us 3 to 9, and now they're telling us 3 again. So I'm just going to add in possibly 3 hashtags. I'm going to look at my profile real quick. I have enabled creator mode. So let me just see the tips that rather the hashtags I have in here. I'm going to use hashtag LinkedIn tips, hashtag social selling, because I've been telling people I'm using those hashtags in posts. So I'm going to use those in there. Okay. And that's it. There's some setup text in there that's going to link right to the blog. And then I simply click on publish. I do want to have this go to anyone. I wouldn't just put to connections only. I really want to get maximum reach for that. So I'm going to click on go back, and then I'm going to click on publish. Okay. And once you do so, the blog is now live. If I wanted to, I could also share it on Twitter. Do need to be logged in at the time that you post it on Twitter. So I'm going to grab my blog graphic from there and give it a little bit extra visual. Drop my hashtag list in there too, maybe with hashtag sales. And that might get me some additional reach on Twitter. And I can also share it on Facebook. Close out of Twitter once it's done. Okay, there we go. Share it on Facebook. And you can see here it's a little bit, it's not really showing the visual. Using LinkedIn for sales. Read this. And it's not giving me the ability to do any additional visual. So I'll take a look at that later. But I may as well use that function to share it to Facebook at the same time. And for now, I'm not going to share it with anybody else in my groups. If I wanted to, I could message it to people. So let's say I was working with someone and was working with them on LinkedIn training. And what I might do, I'm just going to send this to my husband as an example here. So I just type in their name and LinkedIn pre-populates it. So if you wanted, you could modify that. And then you just click on the send button, and then they would have access to that article right away. Okay, so that's it. That's the way you publish a LinkedIn article, aka a LinkedIn blog. And if you wanted to quickly access that again, you would simply go to your profile, scroll down to the section that says activity, and then you would click on see all activity. This is going to take you to a portion of your profile referred to as, it's kind of like the activity feed. So you see all activity, articles, posts, and documented. Click on articles, that article would sit right there. So that's right. And then it's a quick way of getting through and finding all of your past articles as well. Okay. This has been Brenda Meller with today's LinkedIn strategy tip. If you found this helpful, please like this video, add a comment below, and also consider sharing it with a sales leader who is awesome in your network. Have a great day. Thanks.